because it is not encouraging for the chair to be here, and the honorable members are not there. And also clerks and sergeant at arms, can you do your work? Keep time. If it is 8:30, it's 9:30, it's 9:30. So let us proceed. Order of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Thank you. I have one communication to make to the honorable members. This is in regards to 2023 Mashujaa Day celebrations in Kericho County. Of course, the leader, that is the majority whip, you will circulate this to the honorable members in your groups. But this is invitation from the office of the governor, and I can read. This is to invite you, honorable members of the County Assembly of Kericho, to attend a meeting scheduled for Monday, 11th September 2023 at International Training Center, Ekatera Limited, ITC, Kericho at 10 a.m. Monday, 11th September 2023 at ITC, that is Ekatera Limited, at 10 a.m. The agenda will be 1, the status and progress reports on the upcoming Mashujaa Day celebrations to be held in Kericho. 2, Kericho leadership input and collective guidance on the planning and preparations by the National Technical Committee. This is invitation from the governor, of course, to the honorable members that you attend that meeting on 10 a.m. For the preparation of the Mashujaa Day that will be celebrated in Kericho, led by His Excellency the President, none other than William Samoei Arap Ruto. Thank you. Clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next.
Order number 7, statements.
The honorable members, we have 2 statements raised by the honorable Isaac Matker, 2 of them, and I give you an opportunity to raise one, and then I'll give you an opportunity to raise the other. Proceed, the honorable Matker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act 2012 and Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders number 48, subsection 1, I wish to seek a statement from the Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, Housing, and Settlement on the following issues. 1. How many employees are serving the Kericho and Litein municipal boards? Number 2, what plans has the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, and Housing and Settlement put in place to ensure autonomy and financial sustainability of the municipal board? Number 3, what plans has the municipal boards done in ensuring that town plans are adhered to? Number 4, what measures has the county government put in place in ensuring the municipal board operate optimally? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, the Honorable Isaac Matker. This statement, that is the one for operations of municipalities in Kericho, now stands committed to the Committee on Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning, led by none other than the leader of Majority Emeritus, the Honorable Ezron Kipngenong Etich. And the Honorable Chair, since you are in the House, I'll direct that maybe you prosecute this matter and table it in the House in the next 2 weeks, if it is agreeable with you, the chairman. Thank you so much. The Honorable Isaac Metker, the other statement.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you again for granting me another opportunity. Pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act 2012 on Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders, number 48, subsection 1, I wish to seek a statement from the Committee on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning on the following issues again. 1, the number of houses that were formerly owned by the defunct local authorities in Kericho County. 2, the state of the said houses. 3, how much is collected from the said houses as a rent. 4, how often these houses are maintained and who maintains them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Isaac Metker. Again, this statement is hereby committed to the Committee of on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning. And of course, again, because the chair is present, is that you are also directed to table the report in the next 14 days. You will agree with me that I think the Committee on Lands is the most busiest committee, and I think the chairman is a very committed member of County Assembly that is doing a very exemplary work. Of course, cognizant of the fact that this morning again we had a report that was through a motion that was approved by this House. So the chairperson, please confirm to the House that you will table the report within 14 days. Thank you so much, the Honorable Kimgeno Hezron, for that. And we expect that these reports should be tabled in the next 14 days. That is from today. Honorable members, as the leader of majority, I have seen the deputy majority hand, and the leader of majority, of course, also up. So maybe I start with the deputy majority leader, the Honorable Fancy. Proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I don't know if I'll be in order to ask about the statements we raised some months ago. We've never received them, and I don't know what's the position on it. Thank you, sir, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Deputy Majority Leader, the Honorable Fancy. Of course, I'll give an opportunity so that perhaps we can respond to that. But you are in order, and and of course we all know that if you have a timeline of 14 days, if you don't table the report or even give us the status of the report and seek for extension of time, that report automatically of course dies and cannot be tabled in this House. I know the leader of majority, you are aware about that, and I wish the chairperson liaison was here, because I heard that you had a meeting this afternoon discussing the very same issues that has been raised by the majority, the deputy majority leader. And I think this is something of concern that we have, of course, as a House deliberated, starting from yesterday. We had a meeting with all the Honorable 47 member of County Assembly, and you all agreed that you should be committed to do your work. So the reports really that have not been tabled and no extension of time was sought that means those reports really, they have expired and can only be reintroduced afresh. Unless the leader of majority, you have, I want to give you a chance to say something about it before we adjourn the visit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As said by the Deputy Majority Leader, Mr. Speaker, we received complaints from members who had raised the statements, and no one has tried to do justice to those people who saw those statements, Mr. Speaker. One was going to the Committee on Justice and Legal. The other one was going to the Public Service Management regarding the issues of fire. I know that was going to PSM. Another one, Mr. Speaker, the complaint we've received was a statement that was sorted, and it was going to the department or the Committee on Health Services, Mr. Speaker. I therefore want to send a warning, and since the majority whip is here, Mr. Speaker, I kindly request that most of those works lies in his office, Mr. Speaker. He needs to inform us on the next step to take, Mr. Speaker. If those people are not ready to do their work, I think since the majority whip is here, you will kindly give him also the opportunity, because he needs, or majority of those works lies in his office, Mr. Speaker, and I have not received any information from him why those chairpersons has not acted so far, Mr. Speaker. And the next course of action, Mr. Speaker, you know, in our standing orders, it is very clear. The majority whip ought to have brought to us issues to do with those chairpersons, but because the chairperson for Justice and Legal is here, Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether the chairperson for health is here, and the chairperson for governance, labor and governance, that PSM lies within his mandates, Mr. Speaker, was here, and he has just stepped out. Maybe, Mr. Speaker,
as you speak, you can take a seat. The Honorable Majority, I would just want to give direction, especially on the one for governance.
Thank you.
So that you finalize. The chairperson of governance was just here. Sergeant Adams, please look for that chairperson of governance to be here. I gave a directive before we adjourn, as we all know, on the aspect of organogram, organizational structure. And I say that when we will resume sitting, the first report that we should be discussing in this house is the organizational structure proposed from the executive. And that the chairperson of governance should be brought here. We will not adjourn until he's inside here to explain to this house on the challenges and the reasons why this has never been tabled, because this assembly must be taken seriously. The majority, as you finished, and I heard what you have said, I'll give you an opportunity, and then we give to the majority whip, and we agree that any chairperson or vice chairperson, or if honorable members feel that they are so busy or no capacity, then it is important that those positions be relinquished to the members who are willing to do the job on behalf of the people. Remember that the county assembly can only work through these committees, and if the committees do not do their work, it is a very serious case that needs to be addressed. So as we wait for the honorable chairperson for governance, we have the honorable chairperson for the justice and legal affairs. Majority, you finish your point, and then we give them an opportunity to give us a brief on what they have been doing all this long.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I was almost even concluding, and as we continued, I have seen the chairperson for health services has just stepped in, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Eric B. That statement that was sorted also was going to his committee, and the chairperson for Justice and Legal Affairs committee is here with us. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we seek your guidance and directions on the same. Maybe they will speak now on why the delay. Why is it that statements that you've been given 14 days, you didn't come both back to the House, maybe to seek extension, give even the progress report if the entire work is so much, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, mine is just to send that request to the office of the Majority Whip to do their work. And if those chairpersons will not be reporting on time, Mr. Speaker, I think the full authority lies in the office of the Majority Whip to take actions, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Majority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I want to report that again, that since the timeline that was given for the various chairs to report on the statement sought by honorable members, I request, Mr. Speaker, that I wouldn't hesitate. If we can allow them, if I may request about 2 weeks or a week, if they don't report, I wouldn't hesitate giving them a proper written letter confirming that probably the same committee can institute a new election of the said chairs. That is my view, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Whip. As you take your seat, and before I give to the Honorable Eric B., I know your hand is up. You know, the Honorable Chairpersons, and I want to give an example. If you are to report on 6th, if you are to table a report on 6th, so you can only seek extension on or before that 6th. So if already it has lapsed, and I have directed that all those that have lapsed, there's no need of spending public resources for members of committee discussing on things that will not be tabled in this floor. Clerks, I want you to note that, and I need a report also in my office tomorrow morning on the status of all those reports or statements that have been raised by the honorable members. Because you see, we cannot be doing things contravening our standing orders. It should be very clear. Like the one for the governance, that is a very serious issue, case that the chair, I pronounce myself here that the report should be tabled. Immediately we resume business after our short recess. And the chair was here, technically appeared, and left. I guess he must be engaged somewhere. But leader of majority and leader and the majority whip, the one for governance is a very serious case, and I direct that something needs to be done about it, and you advise my office accordingly in writing. That report shall not be tabled until we conclude on the very matter of the conduct of that committee. I have been constantly, and the Hansard is my witness on that aspect of organizational structure and organogram. We want to perform our duties of course, facilitating the county executive to do their work. We don't want to be a stumbling block. If a report was tabled in this house November last year until today, and we are expecting to fill some positions based on that organizational structure, should the executive say it's sabotage? Should they be lying? That is a question that I'm asking. And therefore, that committee, I direct the chair that I direct the majority and the majority. Do you reconstitute that committee? You reconstitute that committee so that work needs to be taken seriously. And we shall be communicating the changes in the morning session of Tuesday next week. The Honorable Eric B.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity just to respond on the held committee, Mr. Speaker. I remember, Honorable Speaker, I was following you yesterday when I was ready with the report, but actually because of the motion from the Lands Department, you advised me that I should bring today, but of course today never handed into order paper. So my report, I have only one report from the committee. I respond the other one from Honorable Fancy, and the one I had to respond was the one from Honorable Peter Kemo. So my report from my committee speaker, they're all ready. And also we've gone an extent of visitation to Kapkatet Hospital, and also the reports are ready. We are going to compile both the report from Kapkatet, from the KDH, and Londiani to this House, Mr. Speaker. So if I squeeze, get chance next week, I'll be able to give out the report to this House. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Simon Koska. Yes.
Thank you very much, the Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to pass some concerning the statement which was raised by Honorable Mutai on the issue of incident which happened at James Finley, Ekater. Mr. Speaker, the statements through the advisors on the legal issues, they say that these statements should be turned and raised as a petition. So I went to the advisor office and he told me that I was supposed to raise today that petition, but I seek for extension. I raise on Tuesday next week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Simon Koska. Of course, giving you until Tuesday, but when there are issues, it needs to be brought a bit earlier to the House or the office of the clerk, or my office is available for further advice when you have challenges, or even our legal department are there to assist the honorable members carry out their duties effectively. So let us note all those things. Honorable members, it is sad that I am speaking from here, directing the majority party to do their work that they ought to have done, but especially so that we take our business seriously. We use the Committee on Governance to be an example of what is required in this House. And I am on answer and on camera, and that needs to be done. So, honorable members, Chief Whip, remember the invitation by the governor for all the honorable members to be in that meeting on Monday at 10 a.m. And again, honorable, I also want to take this opportunity to urge honorable members that if you have been any communication that comes from this House constitutes the business of this assembly, and therefore, if you are not available, it is prudent that you give an apology that you shall not make it. We are not communicating here for the sake of communicating these matters, but these are government business and not private business, and there is a way we need to conduct ourselves when we are dealing with business of the government and governance matters. So the majority whip and the leader of majority, all apologies on issues that have been communicated going forward from today. that have been communicated in this house. Apologies must be there, and apologies must be in writing, of course, you know all that, so that we take our work seriously. Other than that, honorable members, I want to appreciate the good work that you are doing, those who are present, and there being no other business, this assembly adjourns until next week at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday.